Hi guys. I want to tell you about the dream I had on Halloween night. It took me a couple days to even bring this up because it was just like so mind blowing. So here goes. In my dream, I was homeless just like I am now, but I wasn't in this particular hotel. I don't know where I was. I was in a different hotel or something. And I remember going to get my kids some food, and when I got to this place, it was like a little restaurant, and they make sandwiches or whatever, and like they had these really nice smelling good sandwiches. And when I came in, like, if you know the deli, the cookies that you get in the deli, it be in like the clear container. Just imagine a bigger container, clear container like that clip on both sides, and it was full of sandwiches. And this lady gave it to me, and so I asked her because they smell so good. I asked her, can I have some more? And she was like, the lady didn't tell her how many to make for me. And I was like, what lady? And she just pointed. She couldn't tell me what lady, but I didn't see the lady. And so she gave me the extra sandwiches, and then I left, and I ended up back in front of the hotel. And you guys, I'm trying to record the video, please. And all of a sudden, I looked up, and there was an eclipse, and it was like really, 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 really bright. Like, I never seen an eclipse so bright, and it was like smoke coming from the eclipse. It was like crazy, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" And I got to looking, and I was like, "Man, that can't be." And then all of a sudden, I seen angels everywhere. They were flying, and these angels were like super, super long. Like, I never seen anything like this before in my life, that I thought anyway. And they were like so long that, like, if they were standing up, they would probably be over 10 feet tall. That's how tall they were. And they were looking at me, and I looked in the distance. I seen the Messiah coming. And so I remember not to turn around because I don't want to turn into a pillar of salt, or I don't want to take away from my time if it's time to, to be raptured or whatever. And so I know I was in front of the hotel, so I just started screaming. I was like, kids, come. Like, people were looking at me like I was crazy. And I was like, come. And I called for my oldest son. His name is Joshua. And I'm like, Joshua, bring the kids. Do not look out the window. Come with all the kids outside together. Don't look outside. Come together. I was screaming these instructions. And so he came outside with the kids, and his friend was with him. And he was like, Mom, what's wrong? I was like, man, look. And so he seen the eclipse. That was the first thing he noticed too. And he was like, what is that? Is that smoking? And I was like, yes, it's so weird. Look at it. And then I was like, and then the kids were like, look at the angels. And they were pointing. And and the Messiah was like a ways away, like as if he was coming from another like continent or something, but he was like in the distance. Like, you could see that was him coming, because it was all these angels that were like proceeding in front of him. It was tons of angels. They were everywhere, and they were looking at me. Like, in particular, it was like really, really, really weird. And so I told my son that it's time. He need to repent. He still got time. The Messiah is coming. And so him and his friend was repenting. And then all of a sudden, I heard this voice. And this voice, it was a man's voice, and I know it was the Messiah talking to me. And he said to me, remember this. I showed this to you already when you were a little girl. And I was like, I remember, because I was in a place that was like, I remember this place like kind of like from when I was a little girl, but I couldn't figure out like I was there with my children. It was like really weird to me. And so I was screaming, I remember, and people were coming out and people were looking, and I was pointing out the eclipse and the angels. And the more I pointed it out, the more people that were following behind me. I don't know what was going on, but we were following these angels because the angels are supposed to lead us to where we're supposed to go, because the Messiah is coming. So we don't have to worry about anything else. The Messiah is coming. So the angels are supposed to lead us until where we're supposed to go. And so we were following these angels, and all of a sudden these African people came out of nowhere. It was like the most beautifulest thing. It's like almost like Mardi Gras, but it wasn't Mardi Gras, because you know Mardi Gras is evil. But it was like they had floats and stuff and like banners, and they had on like these little in Africa, like they have like these little wraps that go around their waist, and they have these wraps that go around their waist, and they had tamarines and they have drums, and they were playing, and they were heading the way that we were leaving from. We were following the angels. The way the angels were going is the way that we're supposed to go, because the Messiah is coming to where he sent the angels. And so we're traveling. So I don't know. My purpose was still to bring people to the Messiah, Yeshua. And all I know is like we were passing by this gas station, and the enemy was still trying to tempt us, because there was an ounce of weed, right? And my oldest son and his friend, this guy was pumping his gas, and it was just sitting there. He set it on top of the gas pump. It was really weird. And he turned around, and he was pumping. He was talking to someone while he was pumping his gas, and so his back was turned. And so my son and his friend with the growl was like, "Don't touch it, because you could wear your book, and you could wear your name in the book of life." So I told them they would wear their names in the book of life. And so the more I pointed out to people that we were passing by on the road, the more people that started to follow me. And it was weird, because I was like a leader or something. And like I have this ability to show people what they couldn't see. Like, and then like I guess like as the angels, they were like close to the ground. They were so beautiful, and they were all white, and they were different colors. And this one particular one, she kept looking at me. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but all I know is like we got down to this corner, and we passed by long groups of Africans with all these drums and tambourine. And while they were playing, we were jamming. We was going down the street. It was a joyous moment, because the Messiah is coming. It's time to go home. I'm looking forward to this. And so I'm like, yes, it's a joyous moment. And I remember my 2-year-old, he was by the street by this lady. They was just so amazed with the angels. And so this man, he was like, "Get your son away from the road." He's standing by that lady, so I grabbed him, right? And so I don't know if that was a sign or whatever, but I thought about the unleavened bread, and I thought about how we have the unleavened bread that's in the inside of our eye, how our eyes is made. And this lady gave me all these sandwiches, and then she couldn't even tell me who told her to make me all these sandwiches, and I didn't pay for anything, and then the enemy was still trying to tempt us, and it was just like the most joyous thing I ever seen. And that eclipse, it was like so big, and the ring around it was like really, really, really thick. It was like not no small ring either. It was like a thick ring, and it was glowing, and it had smoke coming from it. It was like huge. You know what I'm saying? It was like huge smoke coming from it. I've never in my life seen smoke coming from an eclipse. And then for the voice to just tell me like, remember this. I already showed you this before when you were a child. And it was so weird. And so then all of a sudden, my phone started ringing in real life. Cause I thought I was in real life. I for real thought I was getting ready to go home with the Messiah. I was ready, jamming to these tamarines and these drums and stuff, and these people that were chanting, Yod Hey Vav Hey, and I was like, man, I'm ready to go home. And so all I can think of is like, I don't have to be homeless anymore. I could just sleep in his shoe and I'll be okay, I'm sorry. It was the most joyous thing I ever seen in my life. And this phone call interrupted my dream. But it was a good phone call. And it was somebody trying to help me. And they were trying to figure out if I had a room paid for Halloween night. And I told them, you just interrupted my rapture dream. I couldn't even finish because it startled me out of my sleep. I jumped up like I never haven't jumped up in a long time. Like I jumped up and I was like, you could tell I was still in the spirit because I called one of the sisters, one of my sisters in Christ, Miss T, and I called her, and she said when she checked the voicemail, she couldn't even understand what I was saying. That's how she knew I was still in the spirit, and I was like in shock, like that I got showed this because everyone's been having rapture dreams, and I thought that Yahuwah had fallen on deaf ears to me. I really did. I thought that he wasn't listening to me, and then people were telling me, on YouTube that some of the videos that I'm subscribed to, like meditation and stuff like that, well, people don't understand that, Jacob wrestled with Pinal, and because he wrestled with Pinal and he was able to speak to God through his third eye, through his crown chakra, he was given a spiritual name. His name was transformed from Jacob to Israel. So whenever I hear the word Israel, I think about Jacob. I don't think about Israel's troubles. I think about Jacob's troubles and how I'm a descendant. I belong to the Judah tribe. I never seen nowhere in the Bible where the 144,000 was all virgins. I never heard of that. That's something new to me. I never seen that nowhere. If someone could show me that, I would like to see that, but I don't believe that. Maybe that's something else for some Israelites or something like that. But I belong to one of the 12 tribes of Israel, to the Judah. I'm African American, and God has shown me some things because I thought that my third eye was closed. I didn't even think it was open, but it is open, and God is, Yahuwah. I have to say it correctly because when we use that name, that's really not his name. And we could be weighing our names in the book of life, and we have to call him correctly, Yahuwah, and his son is Yeshua. And I am so thankful for that dream. It was like the most amazing thing I ever had in a long time. It gave me such hope. And I have faith that this is coming to pass. And people need to know that he is coming. He is coming. Mark my words, he is coming. I seen it. I seen it. And he was coming with great glory. And the angels were everywhere. So the signs that you have to look for, if you're still looking for signs, hey, China's waters turned to blood. So that should let you know that we're already in the tribulation. The 8th king, which was the Pope, he led us into tribulation, March 13, 2013. And like 9 or 10 days later, it was the abomination of desolation. You understand? This is the season. God gave us signs. Yahuwah gave us signs. He gave us a lot of signs. And we need to pay attention to the signs that he gave us. And when you pay attention and you start looking up these countries and you find out that Russia's waters have turned to blood and China's waters have turned to blood and all of these fishes is dying and all these fowls is falling out of the air and they on the ground, this is happening. And you guys can't tell me that we're not in the tribulation. We are already in it. The great tribulation is starting. That's what we have to prepare ourselves. Because we are the anointed ones. The ones who have woken up. I'm telling you, we are woke. And we are like the watchmen who are keeping watch. I am keeping oil in my lamp. I know that the UN is getting ready to take over the US. I am not terrified. Because it is things that have to come to the pass. But best believe, I'm willing to fight for mine. I'm willing to fight for my Lord. For my Yahuwah. I am willing to fight for him. My Yeshua. I will do anything. I will slay whatever demons that I have to slay. I will pray them out. I will slay them. It doesn't matter to me. He is coming for us. His bride. He's coming. But don't be falling for no deception. Because the enemy is going to have his rapture too.